So there was a rumor going around the MMA world earlier today, and I didn't want to believe it, and I saw it in some of the comment sections on my videos, and I said, you know what? It's just a little rumor. It's not really got any traction yet. If it gets a little bit more traction, maybe then I'll make a video on it and actually respond to it. Until then, I'm not going to give it any attention. But it's got a little bit more traction. So now I'm going to have to respond to it and make a video. Charles Oliveira versus Rafael Fiziev is allegedly in the works for UFC 283 in Brazil on the Brazilian pay-per-view. Charles Oliveira mentioned no matter what in the Islam Makhachev fight, he wanted to fight in Brazil in January. That was his turnaround date for his next fight afterwards. And Rafael Fiziev is allegedly the opponent that they have in mind. I'm confused. I love the matchup. I think this is an amazing matchup. I really do. I love the fight. I think it's a very competitive fight. I think it's a dangerous fight for Charles Oliveira. The circumstances to make this matchup right now is what I don't agree with. Charles Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush should have been the fight that was made. Let's be real. Am I speaking for everyone here? Charles Oliveira, Beneil Dariush, March, Fight Night card, UFC Fight Night Sao Paulo, in Brazil, Charles Oliveira's home city, make the fight there, 5 rounds in the main event, give it the spotlight it deserves. But we're doing this. And there's many reasons why I don't like this. First of all, if Fiziev wins, you've got to give him a title shot. If Charles Oliveira wins, you arguably have to give him a title shot as well. I wanted to see Fiziev versus Gaethje. If Dariush wins his next fight, he deserves a title shot. So now you're going to be promising too many title shots. And there's going to be too many people deserving a title shot. Which, to be fair, is a good problem to have in a division. So I'm all for it. But I feel like the best way to go about this was Charles Oliveira, Beneil Dariush in March. Fight Night main event, UFC Fight Night Sao Paulo. Give Oliveira his own event. Rafael Fiziev versus Justin Gaethje. February Fight Night card, ABC card, main event. That's the level of fight that is. But Gaethje doesn't know the name Fiziev, okay? He knows who Fiziev is, but he doesn't know how to say that name out loud. And I've been noticing this recently with Justin Gaethje. It seems like he's all willing to fight people until Rafael Fiziev's the fight that comes up, okay? So I guess this is the case of Dariush ain't ready to fight yet for January. He needs a little bit of time off with his family, maybe. So Fiziev's willing to go. Oliveira's willing to go. And they've mushed this fight together. Another problem I have with this, before I even get into a prediction for it. Charles Oliveira is such a badass. I'm still a giant fan of him. This move is so cool of him. Okay? And I respect it massively. And this does make that Brazil card in January. And January is normally a terrible card. Just want to point that out. The January card of a paper of the year, the pay-per-view card in January, is normally terrible if it's not McGregor. McGregor normally would take that January spot against Cerrone, and then it would save the January of the year. Otherwise, it's going to be a pretty weak card. But this saves the Brazil card. But Charles Oliveira has had so many fights recently. 3 months off. Dude, let's not forget. You know, he got choked out by Makhachev. Oh, he got out-grappled by Makhachev. He got choked out. He got dropped. Again. And that's not a one-off statement to make anymore. Oh, Charles Oliveira got dropped, by the way. Oh, again? Okay, that's like something I'm used to hearing now. Charles Oliveira wins a fight. He loses a fight. One thing unanimous. He gets dropped in the fight. Chandler, Poirier, Gaethje, Makhachev. 4 fights in a row. Dropped. Or hurt badly in the Chandler one. I don't think he was officially knocked down or anything like that. But still, you understand what I'm saying. He's taken damage. And he's still getting back in there. And I respect it because he's got the favela mindset. Okay? He's got his... And this is the... You can't buy this. And this is why I'm happy that I didn't grow up rich or anything like that. And I grew up quite poor. Because it breeds a bit of a mindset. And Oliveira, of course, a way bigger mindset than I have. I grew up in the first world poor. So it's a different type of poor than the favelas of Brazil, of course. But he has that mindset. I've got a chance at money. I'm going to make as much money as quickly as I can because I don't know when this is going to end. So he's getting his money in while he can. And that I massively respect because he knows what it's like to have nothing. Okay? Charles Oliveira is a badass, but he may be too badass for his own good. Fight night main event in March. Against Fiziev, I don't mind the matchup. I prefer the Dariush one. It makes more sense because that way you can guarantee whoever wins a title shot, rather than making too many promises to too many different people. Okay? But he's been fighting so much recently. 2020, December, Tony Ferguson. May 2021, Michael Chandler. December 2021, Dustin Poirier. May 2022, Justin Gaethje. October 2022, Islam Makhachev. And he's taken damage in 4 of those 5 fights, the 4 most recent ones. You know, they've been wars, especially the Poirier and the Gaethje one. The Makhachev one, he got caught, whatever. But 3-month turnaround, I get you want to fight in January, but this is a recipe. And I said this before this fight was even made, before Makhachev Oliveira even happened. Fiziev is a nightmare matchup for Charles Oliveira. And if it's Oliveira fighting him after I might go Fiziev. The Bronx. Charles the Bronx. The dream. This could be a Ferguson-ish decision right here, boys. That could lead to a Ferguson-ish downfall of a career, I'll be honest. A Ferguson-esque decision that could lead to a Ferguson-esque downfall of a career. You got to take the time. You don't take the Gaethje fight on short notice when you could wait for Khabib. You just don't do it, Tony. And here we are with Oliveira. How do I get my title shot? Oh, 3 months after I just got dropped, I'll take on Rafael Fiziev. Short, stocky, good takedown defense. Wicked combination hooks in the pocket. And this is the big deal. Charles Oliveira's striking style, it works against the Makhachevs. It didn't end up doing that because he eventually had to fear the takedowns because he realized in round 1, oh God, this guy's weirdly strong and he's out grappling me. So he had to learn that. And then he sort of like was hesitant on the feet in the second round and didn't want to let his hands go until he got caught after a flying knee. But success in the first round for Charles Oliveira. It happened against Gaethje, but he gets dropped. Okay? Poirier, he had the most success against. He had success against Kevin Lee on the feet early on. He had success against Tony Ferguson. Straight punches. Because he can find his way on the inside. He can hook against them. Okay, and he can reach in for single collars and fire his knees to the body and stuff like that. Against short, stocky opponents, I don't like his clinch work because he'll get caught. He'll get caught going for single collars. He'll go for a single collar, try and throw a knee, and Chandler will catch him with a bunch of big shots, and that's how he knocked him down or hurt him in their fight that they had in the first round. And Rafael Fiziev is one of those. I'm going to make a noise to describe the kind of striker Fiziev is. That's the type of striker Fiziev is. Okay? And I'm worried about that. He's not the... He's... That's what he is. That's the type of striker he is. Real Tyson-esque. Okay? Someone's getting into close range with him. He's letting them fly. In combination. We saw what happened to... This could be a Renato Moicano type fight. This could be a Renato Moicano. And Oliveira could look just like Renato Moicano because it's the same type of fight for Fiziev. He's fought this style before. Maybe, just maybe, and here's Oliveira's chance. He tries to take down Fiziev and Fiziev gives up his back. It's something that RDA did and exposed a little bit. He went after Fiziev and Fiziev would give his back while trying to use a whizzer to defend. Oliveira's going to take that back all day. So there's a chance Oliveira gets the back. This is truly a 50-50 fight. And if they make Fiziev a juicy underdog, I'm picking him after this circumstance. 3 months after his title fight, rush him back in emotionally in front of the Brazilian crowd. Fiziev, nothing to lose, everything to gain. He wasn't getting a fight anyway against a top contender. Now he is. If they make Fiziev a big underdog, I'm picking him. And they will make him a decently sized. They'll make him like a 2-1 underdog, I reckon. And they'll make Oliveira a 2-1 favourite because he's Oliveira. And I get it, but like, this is not the right style. And when is the time going to be where you don't get to sit on your back after getting dropped? And I'm not saying Fiziev's going to jump on him like a Makhachev can because of his grappling. I don't think he will. But I'm talking about when's the time where you go down and you're not all good to start playing in the guard. And you go down and you're a bit snoozy. You know what I'm saying? And you go down on the ground and things are a little bit daisy on the ground. And you're looking up all over the place and Dan Hardy jumps back into the UFC headquarters to tell everyone to stop the fight because you're completely out of it. It happens eventually to everyone. I'm feeling a Fiziev win. I hope it don't happen. I really hope Charles Oliveira wins. What a fall from grace this could possibly be. But also, I will add on the counter, what a cool moment this could be. I lost, give me another fight. January, before the champion even turns around in February. I'll beat him. Give me another contender. Dariush in March. I'll beat him. And then we get this epic storyline of Oliveira on the comeback. But it's just what would be good for the sport. And the sport doesn't give us what would be good because Makhachev's champion. And that's enough for another Reddit thread about me. Another video essay made about me now. The sport doesn't give us what we want. Makhachev's champion of the world. Okay? And this is the sad reality of this. Whatever cool thing you could see happening, there's always a counter side to make you sad about it in the sport of MMA. Israel Adesanya, an upcoming superstar. This is the perfect thing. Oh, he leg kicks at range for 5 rounds every title fight. McGregor's coming back to save the sport and give us $1 million pay-per-views again, $1 million by pay-per-view rates again. He's been KO'd. Oh, he's fighting again. Oh, he lost to Poirier. Well, at least he can be active. He's broken his leg. He's out for 2 years. This is what the sport does. And I feel like it's going to do it again. It's going to take no names, take no prisoners, and it's going to dish up a bad result for Charles Oliveira. And if he loses this one, it's nothing but Charlie Turner and Damir Ismagulov on the way up to deal with after this. Good Lord. Please. Don't let this be the end. I'm feeling Fiziev. That's what I'm feeling right now. He's got all the momentum. I know he looked bad against RDA, but I want to talk about that as well if I've got time here. I do a little bit of time at the end of the video. Extra few minutes. RDA's takedown style is a constant threat. You don't have to really worry about Charles shooting a takedown because he doesn't really. He didn't shoot on Poirier in round 1. He didn't shoot on Gaethje really in round 1. He tried to pull guard after he got rocked. But he doesn't really shoot. And I think if Fiziev just fights with the mindset of he's not going to really shoot on me. Even if he does, Fiziev has a chance to stuff it. But if he doesn't, Fiziev fighting with the mindset that he won't will beat Oliveira on the feet in the first round. And RDA's got a hell of a chin for his old age. And Fiziev still found the chin of him. And something else I want to mention is RDA is like a constant threat of a takedown. You don't know after every combination he throws which one will have a takedown followed up afterwards. And that massively affected Fiziev in their fight because he was constantly worried about the takedown. RDA will shoot over and over and over again. I don't know how many takedowns he shot on Fiziev, but I want to say it was over 10. I want to say it was over 10 that he shot. I'm just going to check that out right now. Rafael Fiziev. In fact, I want to say he shot over 12 takedowns. I'll confidently say that. Let me have a look. Rafael Fiziev, RDA. RDA got 2 takedowns. He shot 16. You know what I mean? 16. He shot 16 takedowns. And that's something that Fiziev had to worry about. Oliveira doesn't shoot him. He waits until you go for him, or he waits until he's hurt and he tries to pull guard and bait you in, and that's how he does his work. In fact, the only person we've seen him shoot on recently is Islam Makhachev, and that's a sad sign. But he did shoot on Chandler, so maybe he'll try it this time. But I'm just very worried that we're going to see a Fiziev. Whilst Oliveira is looking for his single collar in the clinch, a Fiziev, body, head. Oliveira goes down. Standing back up, says Fiziev. Leg kick. Lands another few big shots. Puts him down again. Puts him away. We'll see how it goes. Tough. And I just don't like the circumstances. I want a refreshed Oliveira. I want him to go into the woods. Have a bit of clairvoyance. Think about some things. take a few months, spend it with his family, with his daughter. I need my belt back. Then you start getting back into training camp, and you come back 5-6 months later in March. UFC Fight Night Sao Paulo against Beneil Dariush, which is a better matchup, I think. A less dangerous in the first round matchup than Fiziev. And you know Oliveira fights action-packed in the first round, so that danger in the first round is a massive factor. I'm worried. I think Fiziev wins. And if he's an underdog, I'm picking him. And I hope Oliveira proves me wrong. But I'll say this. Thank you, Oliveira, for being the warrior that you are. Honestly. We need warriors like him in the sport. Not wet blankets. Not wet blankets to cut a bunch of weight. But good thing, you know, he's a warrior. And he'll turn this fight around because, you know, we're looking at the UFC Brazil card in January. And I'm seeing good fights on the card. I'm seeing Terence McKinney versus Bonfim. That's on the prelims. I'm seeing Andrade Lauren Murphy on the prelims. That's not too bad. I like that for a women's fight. It's going to be fun. Jailton Almeida Shamil Abdurakhimov is allegedly on the prelims, I guess. Have they really booked that fight? Double booked Almeida? Or did his fight fall through recently? Let me have a look at what's going on with Almeida. Did a fight fall through for him recently? It did. Wow. So they've just moved him onto this card. Okay, so they've booked that for January with Jailton Almeida. Thiago Moises Garamkut-Steledze. That's a great set of prelims. Nunes versus Fern as well. Josiane Nunes. Bonfim versus the other Bonfim brother versus Munir Lazez is on the prelims. And then let's do Shogun Rua Igor Pateria on the prelims. Main event, Figueiredo Moreno. Make that the main event. Co-main event, Charles Oliveira, Rafael Fiziev. Feature fight, Gilbert Burns, Jorge Masvidal. Or maybe switch them round. Who knows? Depends on what they want to do. But if we can get Gilbert Burns, Jorge Masvidal on this card, that's a main card of Figueiredo Moreno 4 main event, which will get a bunch of spotlight because people will tune in for the other big fights. Charles Oliveira versus Rafael Fiziev. Gilbert Burns versus Jorge Masvidal. Brad Tavares, Gregory Rodriguez, and Paul Craig versus Johnny Walker. And that would be an amazing fight card. Nunes Shevchenko 3, also on the card, would make it an even better fight card. And that would be a blockbuster way to start off the year. And then it's February, the next pay-per-view, for the pound-for-pound status on the line. In Australia with a stacked card, Whittaker versus Costa on there as well. And then it's March in the UK in London. Oh my God! January, Brazil with the card that could be happening. February, Australia with a card that could be happening. The biggest card we potentially maybe ever will see in the UK in London in Wembley. April, McGregor might be coming back. Okay, let's do it. Like and subscribe. See you later. Goodbye. Fiziev, first round KO.